Meeting is respectfully held on the traditional territory of the Saikas First Nation on whose land we live, work, and play. You have the agenda. Would somebody like to move adoption? So moved. Seconder? Resolutions? All in favor? Carried. You have the minutes from the November 14th and November 21st meetings. Would somebody like to move adoption? Move to adopt. Errors or omissions? Favor? Carried. No bylaws, no delegations. Any public comment for items on the agenda?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Recently, the city of Vancouver adopted many of the provisions of my question is, if and how is this council and this chamber planning to?
I just want to remind the gallery that public comment is not for questioning council. You can leave the question with them and they can get back to you, but it's not to come and expect an answer at this meeting. Okay, but would take note in the minutes and then someone can get back to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anybody else? Seeing none, moving on. CAO reports, release from confidential property purchases.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Items 7.1 and 7.2. 7.1 came from the last in-camera meeting to release that information. There's no action required, and the same for 7.2. That was a letter, a follow-up letter. There's no action on that one either. So the report for this one's before you. It was at the last council meeting and deferred to today. We absolutely have to make a decision, even if we keep status quo, because the report with the final calendar has to come next meeting for adoption. You can tweak it at the next meeting, but it has to be finalized on December 12th.
Anybody got any comment they want to make?
One of the, I noticed in the report considerations was time. Like to keep, I'm not concerned about the day to so that would just be my thought.
Just to add a different perspective of that, I don't mind keeping it at 5:30. I don't mind trying a different time either. Our meetings are, when bylaws into motion for the previous calendars, we really didn't have a good video system. A better one now, and we've got a better one coming in January, right? So we're going to be able to tape and be able, so the public will have access. And I would encourage public to come out personally, but at least watch it because they know we're not. I don't mind either time. I would caution about moving it for different days because meetings for a lot of other organizations happen on Tuesday.
That was my only thought too, was I know Monday's kind of the day that it works best for me.
Time again, any other thoughts about time? I know earlier is better for staff and later is maybe better for the public, right? So it's that balance.
I like 5:30.
I'm thinking I'm going to hear a motion here soon.
I move that we make meetings 5:30.
Okay. Sorry.
Is that the first and third Monday? Is it status quo?
Status quo.
And could you make that resolution and then discuss committee of the whole? in committee of the whole? Or next
Talk
one.
about committee of the whole. and-
All right.
You good with that, Councillor Young? All in favor? Carried. Committee of the whole. Now, it was thought maybe we didn't need quite as many committee of the whole as we are having.
A lot of our committee of the whole meetings are, most of the time is spent with our monthly update reports. I just mentioned at the last meeting, suggested that they could be quarterly or as required. And the monthly reports could go on a regular council meeting. There's no reason of the whole because they don't fit the topic of a committee of the whole meeting. So we could either schedule them quarterly, keep them the way they are, the second Monday of the month, and then, or call them at the call of the agendas committee. And we have enough topics for a committee of the whole. Because right now, I don't think on our list we have any topics for committee of the whole. So if we had one in January, it would just be those department reports, which are really just for information.
I like the idea of going quarterly, but with the flexibility.
Especially.
At the discretion of the agendas committee?
Thank you, Mayor. I would go along with that suggestion. Later on, we're going to talk over the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about we create 10 committees or one committee, the rest would be discussed at a committee of the whole. So we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
So I'm good with if we, it's, yeah.
That's the next item on the
Yeah.
agenda. Sorry.
No, and so, you know, I'm with Councillor Young in that if it's, you know, quarterly with flexibility, that's fine enough after we, you know, make that decision.
So January, April, July, October, second Monday of the month. You can make that motion if that's what you.
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Young,
I'll
second
second
it.
that.
Councillor Martins. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Great, so moving on to 7.4, standing and select committees discussion. Now, do we have a list of what we have right now?
Tourism, environment, housing, Highway 16 revitalization, attraction and retention was dissolved, and community forest, which is all of council anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we need to touch column 4. That has been, you know, that's sort of 8 committees, no, 6 that we've been doing. And I think it would be good to have a discussion. Do we want to have that many committees? Some of them were really effective, some of them not so much.
Yeah, we couldn't get quorum.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing more frustrating than not getting quorum, right? That wastes. So really want to open that up to the floor. Where do you want to see that go? Should we reduce that number of committees? Are people around here on them? Where?
Certainly like to see, I think it's important to yeah, attraction and retention. I just really strongly want to advocate for it.
We do have someone who's hired to do tourism now, who's doing research and building our tourism plan, and is going to bring that to council regularly as we go. That committee may or may not be necessary, just
I was a member of the revitalization committee and, you know, I think as soon as we received the report, but we're still waiting. So I would think as soon as we receive that, summary from them, then we could probably follow up on the recommendations that they provided, and then we could probably dissolve that committee.
Just for information, all committees are dissolved as
Oh,
of
they are,
now.
okay.
At the end of the term, they all expired, but revitalization, the report can come to council.
Yeah.
And then we'll send it out to the other committee members that were on the committee.
I'll just jump in on that one quickly. I think that would make sense not to redo that committee because it's only to receive a report. Right?
I think I agree with Councillor Lozzie that right off the bat, that the housing committee is one that, you know, depending on how we want it to look, I think already we understand the need and the whole philosophy around that. You know, we just talked about the attraction and retention committee. To me, you know, we need to have something like that going forward. You know, but I think, you know, as a council, we've been looking at how do we find ways to work with various sectors. People in to create video, not video, but some type of presence online, et cetera, to do this together with, you know, other larger employers in the community, et cetera, combine it all together and having some common themes to share. But I think there's a lot of work that can be done there. That some's already being done now, but I think just saying because I agree with Councillor Mandel, you know, that their work was done, but now I think we go into another phase. We need to report and see what it's at. It's almost like right now we're discussing something without having the opportunity to make some strategy first and go, these are the committees we're going to need. That's how I think when I'm looking at the agenda. So right off the bat, I know there's some we do need, like housing, that's not going away, but do we need a little more time to talk about what's going to be our point of focus?
I'll just jump in quickly. I think we need to get some restarted and going, but yeah, definitely after our strategic planning, we should be revisiting this and making sure that
So I think the attraction and retention committee and the housing committee should almost be intertwined with one another, because without a doubt, having housing now trying to attract someone to fill in the job.
Onto that quickly, I'm not sure if we have time for all this, but I agree with you, except the work that we've done already. Now we're focusing. So the pieces that we're looking at in terms of the committee, for example, there's so much work that needs to be done and uncovering different things there. We do know that we have other focuses that we have to do in attraction retention too. So if we merge them back together, you'd have this unwieldy big focus, right? So you're right there.
I wasn't suggesting that we merge them together. I was just suggesting that they correspond with one another.
And tourism touches base with attraction.
Yeah, well.
Oh, you're right.
But
Can we look at that and say that maybe we look at that one? I think we need to get us as council up to speed on you know, housing has definitely got legs. Ministry or environment committee's got some really good legs and it's had deliverables. But for the rest, we could look at committee of the whole, so it brings us all up.
Committee of the whole, do you mean? Or
Yeah.
bring those items to a committee? Because that's what you could do as well, like tourism. Any committees you get rid of, highway tourism could all go to their council's committees. They all can be discussed. Those items can be discussed in committee of the whole instead of a committee. Because the quorum and getting people appointed, the committees was very difficult last year.
It was great. It was great to engage the public, for sure. But it was difficult to watch that. Sometimes, a lot of times on some committees, we didn't get quorum.
We had to create a bunch, you know, there's a lot of work all at one time.
and that is the other way we could go is have like I said, community development committee that could have quite a broad terms of reference that you could assign different things at different times, right? Exactly. They could be. But I don't mind taking things to committee of the whole either, if that's the most efficient way to deal with them.
Put it up then, well, we can diversify there a little bit. So we're all on the same page and everybody's.
Keep housing and environment, everything else goes to committee of the whole? Until we got a strategic
Yeah, I
plan.
agree with
Martin
Martin.
said.
Yeah, so there's more that we have to nail down.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And was to bring all the terms of reference to the next meeting, or we could do it, the committee of the whole in January, to bring the committees you want to keep for sure, bring all those terms of reference back, because they have to have the mandate adjusted, updated, and some of the workload for staff. For staff tasks.
I would just, with the housing community, make it better to have decisions made and building, et cetera, et cetera. We would like to have these focus group meetings to make sure that we're ahead of the game as much as possible, just for consideration.
I think that makes sense, and if we could get, just for these two committees, get the tours come back for,
Housing and environment.
yeah.
And then the rest,
And then we can make appointments and go forward from there.
And the January committee of the whole, or next meeting,
Next
December
meeting,
12th,
December
right?
12th.
Reference for
Folks are around, but-
housing and environment, okay.
I'll make the motion that we keep housing and environment as committees and bring the tours.
I'll second that.
Favor? Carried. 8.1, external commit, oh. So I guess. We have external committee appointments. So you've got a list there, just a couple of them are filled where we've already done appointments. What we're looking for here is to have everybody see exactly what those external appointments are. Think about it, what your interests are, so we can try and match up you with your interests in a way, right? So I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look at it. If you want to get, I think it'd be better to do offline, but I wanted it to come to the meeting so everybody sees what's there and open. And then we can have a discussion offline as to where we'll be with those appointments. This is a short order too, though, so a few of us will be seeing each other in a couple of days, so we can maybe have a discussion then, but everybody else maybe try and reach out to me so we can.
Did we remove BC Mass Timber Advisory Committee? That was a UBCM.
Awesome. And I'll just make a note, and Check Watershed Roundtable isn't necessary that we get to appoint somebody to that. It's somebody from municipal government in the watershed, but traditionally Vanderhoof has made an
And just to note, the IA one, is that on here?
No, MFA.
MFA. Okay, we also need a MIA appointee, and the only meeting is the AGM during UBCM that they would attend. So you don't have an alternate, but should be someone that's going to UBCM. So we'll have to add that.
name, isn't it? It's just one meeting.
Did they just meet once, the MFA?
Yeah.
Those are just,
They're on those boards, it's quarterly, but as a rep.
Right. As a member, appointee.
Awesome. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll move on to council items. Let's start with Councilor Young.
Actually, I haven't had any meetings since our last.
Coming up?
Yes.
I'm trying to look forward though.
Yes. Well, I've been invited to go to. Oh, that's coming up later. Never mind, I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You don't want to curse it. I don't want to say that.
You don't want to say that you weren't invited.
Councilor Lozzie.
Actually,
Weird.
Councilor Frankel.
Well, I just want to say that we all attended Christina Bente's strategic planning session. I'm going to tell you, I felt it was glad to see her on the docket for. That's looking forward, and I'm really excited.
Nothing at this time, really. I just want to agree with Councillor Frankel that Christina Bentley.
Remember, I'm a D.
It's a pretty easy.
I'll concur with these two that I agree, that it was very worthwhile. I also went to the Nechako Valley Historical Society meeting a while ago as well. That was we held it up in the new C. But they've moved to in there for now because they don't know where they're supposed to.
Council meeting right after that or something related to council, didn't it?
Yeah, I think there was something
That was
else.
the last
going
Councilor Van Dolen.
Nothing other than that Ernest and Tom and I will be heading to Smithers here tomorrow to take part of the administrative law session that Don was looking forward to that session.
Oh, yeah, law's always exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, great. I'm also joining you for the Don Woodstone session, so I'll be on there too. Just one looking, or maybe two. I would agree with Councillor Frankel that I would actually say that was the best orientation session I've been in so far. It was really good. Really nice way to start too. Had a meeting with Amon last week. We're going to try and do that not every month, every second month. Just to, on the 7th, I've been invited to attend the housing co-op meeting. I don't know if you guys. I will be attending. Good. No correspondence. So,
Mr. Mayor, for the next item, we're just looking for a resolution to, for the following, that council hold an in-camera meeting immediately following adjournment of the November 28th, 2022 regular council meeting, and the meeting be closed to the public pursuant to the community charter to discuss labor relations, land, legal information that would not be disclosed under Freedom of Information Act, and negotiations pertaining to a new municipal service under sections 9E1C, E, I, J, and K, and further that all persons other than the mayor, councillors, and pertinent staff be excluded from the meeting.
Make that motion.
here. Carried. I declare the regular meeting adjourned.
There you go.
That felt good.
Wear that thing out.
You never did that once.